I did not work in my mornings journal for today. However, I had a live session last night. I want to say a special thank you to the gals who stick with me to the wee hours of the morning. Oh my goodness. I'm addicted to jelly printing. They are giving me so many hints of how to do jelly print. I'm having so much fun and I'm learning so much. But it got late. I looked up and I'm going, it's 1 o'clock on the East Coast. If you need to leave, you leave. And I want to say that to anybody who comes to my live sessions. If you come in late, that's okay. If you don't come, that's okay. If you can't make it, don't feel bad. I get it. And if you have to leave, you know, it's Friday night. You all have families. You have things going on the next day. You have a long weekend that you want to look forward to. Don't feel bad if you need to leave. But thank you all for coming. Now, I'm going to show you what I did in my live session, because it was a 4-hour live session. I worked in my Faces journal here. She turned out better than I thought. Yeah, she turned out, didn't she? When I first did her, she looked like a leprechaun. I swear she looked like a leprechaun. And this little gal was so cute because I used a reference photo, and I did not want to make her look exactly like the reference photo, and of course I never do, but she had pigtails, and she had her 2 front teeth missing. Now, I think you can kind of tell it here, but I was so afraid I was going to make her look like a pumpkin face. So, yeah, I think she turned out great. I'm really happy with her. I'm really happy with doing this Faces. Heads up. I'm not sure what to call it. Funny faces. I'm not sure what to call this. I don't want it to be faces in the sense that I'm doing portraits or that I'm even trying to improve my skills. I just want to have fun. I just want to sit down and play. And that's, if you're doing that, that's what I want you to do. Some of these, like this one that I did, I say it looks like I painted her on a rock. Doesn't it look like she's painted on a rock here? And one of the gals said, this guy looks like Dr. Spock. And I was looking at his ear and I'm going, I'll bet that's because of his ear and maybe his sideburn. I didn't have Dr. Spock in mind, but now I see Dr. Spock when I look at this. And I finally figured out what was bothering me about this. This baby has no ears. But that's what makes it fun. That is what makes it fun when you're not trying to be perfect. And nobody's perfect. I mean, in your skills and all of that, this is just fun. This is a magazine where we're painting out pages. It's a magazine that would have gotten tossed. But how fun it was to do her. Now, I thought I'd show you some of the jelly prints, some of the more successful ones, because it was late. It was late when we got done last night, and even the gals that were in there probably had to leave early. And I pulled out, I had a lot of fails, but they'll be painted over. But these are some of my more successful ones. I'm learning how to use a stencil with it. And here's one of my fails on the back. But this one turned out fine. I'm happy with that. Here is where I started doing the fine line paint applicator. And you can see it got pretty thick in there. That's pretty thick paint. But I used the metallic purple, and then I used the white, and then I just let it drip. It was just dripping down. And I'm going, I can do more with this. I can do more with this. I was pretty happy with this. I was not unhappy. Look at how that shines. Then here I'm playing with the bird again. And this one just kind of happened. This was as I was just picking up the leftover paint on the plate. I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm happy with this one. This one I think turned out really nice. Lisa was telling me to do, this was where I was picking it up, I think. She said, just do a really light, don't press hard. She was telling me to use a black background and just use a light touch to it. And now I got into playing with my fine line paint applicator. Let's see, what else do I have here to show you? Oh, I'll show you some of those fails down at the bottom. But, yeah, I started drawing doilies with my fine line paint applicator. Can you see the doily in there? And I'm going, yeah, this is a technique that I think I can refine. And you will be seeing me play with the fine line paint applicator on the Gelli plate a lot more. I just feel there's a way this can be taken further. This technique can be developed. I was just sketching on the Gelli plate with my fine line paint applicator, and it turned out pretty good. And here we did one on a 12 by 12, another doily. That was fun, and that turned out. Here's one of the first ones where, well, I think this was a pickup print. I think we were just picking up what was left on the plate here, but that was the kind of like the wipe-up print on it. And here's where I was just picking it up with plain paper. I'm happy with this one. I just know in my bones that there's more to this. There's more to this. I'm just finding my way here. I think this might have been the second print that I pulled here. Maybe the first one. I don't know. It's got those diagonals on it. And here's one of the ones I just did on the plain paper. I was afraid to use this side, so I used the back. So, yeah, you get too thick of lines and it'll make a really dark line here. But that's not a bad thing if you can control it. And then here's some of my I call them fails. They're not real fails, they're just experiments. I was trying to get this little bird stencil. You can kind of see him in here if I hold him. This was with metallic paint. And he just wasn't picking up too well. But I was just playing with him. And here's again where I kept saying this, I can take this further. I looked at this. It was one of the first ones that I did with the fine line paint applicator. This is just a squiggle on the back. I kept saying it can go further, and I still feel like that it can go further. So those are kind of my fun plays in the live session last night. I just kind of wanted to show those to you because I don't think that the majority of you will probably go out there and look at the 4-hour live session. I just kind of wanted to show you some of the successes. I also cut my Dirty Dozen paper. I had an 18 by 24 watercolor paper that I did next Dirty Dozen on last week. And I cut that into little note cards in my live session. And that took up some time. But I was learning. I was learning how to cut them. And I was learning the right sizes. So to those of you who came to my live session, thank you for your patience. Thank you for coming on a Friday night and sitting with me while I do art. I have so much fun, and I know I missed a lot of the chat tonight, but I enjoy you all so much. So with all that said, I'll say, I'll see you tomorrow morning.